We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.
What gave you the confidence, considering that you had never boxed professionally, that you can get into the ring? And I don't think you stepped into the ring thinking like, okay, I'm gonna have a good showing. I think you stepped into the ring believing you could beat Tyson Fury.
Of course.
What gave you the confidence? You had never been in a boxing match before.
You know, life is not always about theory.
Dreamaholics, how you doing? It is great to be with you. Remember, a dreamaholic is somebody who's completely dedicated to making their passions and dreams become a tangible reality. Great to be with you. Today, I wanted to really talk to you about a real serious thing, because sometimes, you know, when you have a vision in your mind or a dream in your mind, something you want to accomplish, you tend to think that it has to take forever to get there and that you can't have quantum leaps. And I'm here to tell you that you can have quantum leaps. Sometimes it's not always about one step after the next. Sometimes you can jump a bunch of steps. And today we're going to be talking about this incredible miracle of a guy by the name of Francis Ngannou. And I don't know, for those of you who aren't familiar with him, and by the way, if you're not a person who's into fighting or sports and you're not really familiar with this, everything I'm going to be talking about today I'm going to be relating it back to you. I'm going to be relating this back to how you create success and the mindset that you need to have in order to get the things that you say that you want, you know. And I just thought this was brilliant. And this is a guy who came from nothing 6 years ago. Nobody knew his name. He was living in poverty in Cameroon, Africa, working in the sand mines, has a vision, wants to become a boxer. Nobody knew him, coming from nothing. Gets on a raft, goes to, the so-called illegal immigrants, those types. He gets onto a raft from Cameroon, gets to France, and sleeping on park benches, gets an opportunity, to be working out inside of a gym, and where they introduce him to the world of MMA or mixed martial arts. He goes into the UFC. Within a few short years, he's the heavyweight champion of the UFC. Gets into a contract dispute with Dana White, very public one like this, and and he leaves. Everybody thinks he's washed up and he's done. Next thing you know, the man is getting a fight with Tyson Fury. The millennial champion, one of the greats of the world, in world history of boxers. He's one of the greats. So, and this is his first boxing match. So you don't have to go step by step. Sometimes you can take quantum leaps. And I really want you to tune in to the principles of what he's talking about in this interview. Now, this was a 2-hour-long interview, so I'm just taking out some of the main points. You can go and check out the interview. I'll have a link in the description. You know what I mean? So you can go and check out the full interview and get the whole enchilada, so to speak. You know what I mean? But this is some really good stuff. So for everybody who is serious about their progress, you need to watch. You need to really pay attention to what I'm covering. And by the way, one other thing I just want to say right before I get started, on YouTube, and one of the things they talk about is people's attention span and how long will people actually sit through and listen to something that is educational. And they say that people's attention spans are low. I reject the idea that people's attention spans are low. I think what happens is that a lot of us are not. If it's entertainment strictly, we're conditioned to watch that. So we'll sit back and watch stuff that has nothing to do with helping us grow. But when it comes to things that are going to actually help you to succeed and to grow, it's like it was said in that book, Born to Win. We were born to win, but conditioned to lose. If you're serious about wanting to succeed, you've really got to tap in and go, not only watch something once, but watch it multiple times. Take notes as you're getting it and see how could I take these principles, apply it to my life, and go kick some serious butt. You know what I mean? Like that's where your mindset needs to be at if you're serious about getting somewhere. So the people I'm talking to, the people who I want to talk to, which I believe is you, are people that are serious about their growth. And if that's you, you're in the right place, because this is where we get things done. This is what Dreamaholics get things done. So with that said, let's get right into this video. Have your notepads and pens, let's go, and let me know what your takeaways are from this in the comments and what you're gonna do, what steps you're gonna take, all right? So let's get going. Francis Ngannou being interviewed by Mr. Shannon Sharpe.
Hello, welcome to another special edition of Club Shay Shay on the Road. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. And the guy that's stopping by for conversation on the drink, well, we have nothing to drink, so just the conversation today, is one of the scariest heavyweights on the planet. He holds the record for the hardest punch ever recorded by the Guinness Book of World Records. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, a top 10 ranked WBC boxing heavyweight contender, one of the baddest men on the planet. I just nicknamed him the Cameroonian Conquistador. You know what a conquistador is?
No.
That's someone looking to conquer new territory.
Okay, conquistador. Like conqueror.
The Predator,
Okay.
Francis Ngannou. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, sure.
Man, thanks for stopping by, man. How you been?
I've been good, been paving my little way.
How have your life changed? See, we're going to give you credit for the win because everybody believed that you won the fight.
Yeah.
You got outlanded in total punches, but you threw the harder power shots. You knocked him down, something that some of the other former heavyweights in boxing has been unable to do. So what's going through your mind? You land this punch. Did you think he was going to get up? Did you think you had won the fight at that moment?
Yeah. Going up into that fight, I was very prepared. I know how tough he is. I have seen him almost dead and come back.
Right.
So I wasn't going there to knock him out.
Right.
I'm like, okay, whatever happened, because usually when you think somebody is going to stay down and then he comes up, that takes something out of you.
Right.
I didn't want to have all kind of like hope, empty hope. So I'm like, this fight is going to the decision, And during the entire fight, I was just thinking to the 10 round, like, don't overdo, don't find the big punch,
Right.
Just keep the pace, and that's how I do.
Okay, so here he is, Francis Ngannou, going up against the millennial champion, where I think Tyson Fury's dad says, there's no man born of a woman that could beat him in a fight. Well, so he says, I know who I'm going up against, and this guy, this guy is a beast. He had total respect for his opponent. And he said he went in basically with measured expectations, and he went in with the idea of, look, I don't want to overdo it. I just want to make certain that I can be in there, be careful with what I'm doing, watch, learn, take on the experience. He's approaching this from a student perspective. One of the problems with most entrepreneurs, particularly people who are just sort of getting out there and making things happen, you're not treating your business or whatever it is that you're pursuing as an academic exercise. You're not treating it like a student, so this is why when things don't go your way, or you're at it for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and things aren't going the way that you want them to, you didn't hit your goal or whatever the case may be, that that all of a sudden now, this thing doesn't work. Oh my God, this thing doesn't work. And then you quit, and then you try something else, and you go through the same routine, and that doesn't work. And then you go try something else, and it doesn't work. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know that routine like this that you can get stuck in, right? And I know because I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. So, as opposed to saying, you know what, I'm going to get a master's degree in this. I'm going to figure this out, because if I get a master's degree in whatever, in this business, if I get a master's degree, if I master this craft, where I could be in a short period of time, and the reason why you can take quantum leaps is because most people don't have the mentality of going all in like this, because very few people, like maybe it's usually, I train people at offices from in many different countries, and salespeople. I'm trying to help people at every single office that I go to, whether it's real estate brokerage, insurance brokerages, people who own gyms and they're selling gym memberships, whatever it happens to be. There's always a top 10%, and those top 10% usually out-earn the bottom 90. The top 10% usually out-earn the bottom 90%. Yeah. If you decide to become a master at what you're doing, and you say, you know what, and you're new at it, it takes 2 years to get a master's degree. Well, first you have to go through an undergraduate, then you take the master's, which is 2 years, right? So that's 7 years. Well, 6. You know what I mean? If you're doing it honors, in Canada at least, that's how it is. In the U.S., it may be different. So that's a lot of time. But a lot of you are quitting inside of 3, 6, 7, 8 months, inside of a year, and you haven't even really put forth the effort in order to become a master. So let's continue this. Let's continue this interview.
Do you think you could win a decision over a heavyweight champion, or did you feel you needed to knock him out? Did you think you could get a decision?
Yeah, I believe in it. I mean, that's why I train. I train for 10 rounds. I mean, to get there and get to in the 10th round, and in the 10th round, I feel like I was even more fresh than he was. Right. You know, I was very prepared. I mean, I'm going into a sport that I'm the underdog, a massive underdog, because that was my first boxing match, and I'm going against the best in the world. So I better be prepared, right? And couldn't just count on punches, power punch, because he's good at counter deviating punch. So I wasn't looking for punches at all. Like, I was so scared, like, to put power and get tired. Right. My main thing was not to get tired before him. Right. Yeah.
And see, that's why.
So he talks a lot here about his preparation. You know, and I want to, you know, he's thinking about, I got to be able to go the distance. I'm going against the best in the world. And, you know, and so now I have to be prepared to know that I got to be able to prepare for 10 rounds. I got to be ready to go. Well, I want you to think about when you're preparing for what you're doing. Who are you, like when you're going, they say technically when you're an entrepreneur, you're going into business for yourself. But who are the standard bearers in your industry? And how close are you from a mentality standpoint and an activity standpoint to be where they are? So for me, I'm looking at guys like a Tony Robbins. I'm looking at a Grant Cardone. I'm looking at Daryl Eves. I'm looking at, there's a number of people that I'm looking at in my industry who are the top of the top of the top, the best of the best. And so when I'm measuring my day-to-day activity, because I study these guys, same way that he studied his opponent. And I'm like, okay, so now with my approach, how do I approach this thing differently? If they were starting over right now, in today's time, what would their approach be? How many hours are they putting in? How much outreach are they doing? How much time are they doing studying the craft? You know what I mean? How to overcome objections, how to properly market, how to connect with people on a deeper level, to follow up and follow through. All of the things that make somebody successful at what they do at that level. And then, of course, the delivery of their product or service. Like, how do they do it? What are the nuances? How do they figure it out? Are you getting what I'm saying? When I'm talking about going after a master's, I'm talking about really getting into the mind of the people who are the best of the best in your industry. How the heck do they get there? Because success leaves clues, right? I guess, and now following the yellow brick road for your success. And now other people are going to be looking at you saying, hey, you know what I mean? I want to be like you, like this. And I want, how did they do that? How did you do that? Right? Like, because that's what happens. The generation that comes after you models after you. So he came into this as a student. I want to encourage you to adopt a student mentality. Each element of your business, you want, or whatever it is that you're pursuing, or in your career, you want to become a master, the best of the best. Well, who are the best of the best in the world at doing what you do? Like this, you know, like this, and what is some of the history behind what they've done? You know what I mean? And then you start looking at those things, and now you start going each day, chipping away towards your end goal, your end game. All right. So hope I'm making sense to you. And by the way, let me know in the comments what you're getting, what the takeaways are, and where you feel that you can improve, where you need to master in order to elevate your game. Okay. Because we're talking about taking quantum leaps. We're not trying to take the long time. We're trying to take quantum leaps. All right.
I'm saying, because you are such a massive underdog. Had you won that fight, that would have been the biggest upset in heavyweight history. That's bigger than Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. That's bigger than any other heavyweight fight. That might have been the biggest, because like you said, you never had a boxing match before.
Yeah.
And you stepped into the ring with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and you beat him.
And that's why I like, at some point, even I get frustrated of the decision, but I understand that there is a system,
right,
and you can just not just be like a single wolf and just come and take the system down like that.
Right.
I've been into this business a little while to understand that he works, so I knew even before the fight that if we get to that point, I don't have so many chances. Right. But you know, I wanted to prove my point. I wanted to prove that I can box. Also, for me, it was a good experience to feel it, to get there. I'm like, okay, I get this. How do I feel in the 5th round, in the 6th round, in the 8th round, you know, all those stuff, and holding and understand the game against one of the best ever do it, you know. So he was very important for me. So at the end of the day, like after that fight, regardless of the decision, I was still happy. I feel very satisfied, and yeah, feel like I've took a lot from them than what they took from me.
This is a really valuable point. First of all, he recognized going in, and what he's talking about is, if it goes to a decision and you're an up-and-comer, this is his first fight. He's going up against the guy Tyson Fury, who they had already promoted that is going to be defending his title against Usyk, who's the other champion, and they're supposed to have a unification fight. So if Francis wins this thing, that hinders their money on the next fight. That's the politics of it. But the core of it for each of us is recognizing that life isn't always fair. People aren't always going to treat you right. There are maybe people who are sexist, racist, you know, don't like you because of your religion, whatever. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's some sort of politics in your environment that could hinder your success. But he says he went into that accepting the fact that, yes, he could win, but if it goes to decision, he probably won't get the decision. You know what I mean? And which is, in this particular instance, what happened. But he still won. And he won so much more. I think he actually gained more from them because the world saw him get robbed of a victory. The world saw it. You know what I mean? Like this. And Tyson Fury, if you go back to the videos of the fight, like just go on YouTube and type in the fight. At the end, you see Tyson's face. It was clear that he didn't win. His body language said it all. So at the end of the day, it's something where, you know, you need to recognize that whenever you're going into battle to do whatever you're doing, that life can come at you in different ways. It's not always going to be fair. There's going to be disadvantages, but you have to be willing to go in knowing that and willing to overcome those in order to get your quantum leap, to take things to that next level. All right, so let's continue.
What gave you the confidence, considering that you had never boxed professionally, that you can get into the ring? And I don't think you stepped into the ring thinking like, okay, I'm gonna have a good showing. I think you stepped into the ring believing you could beat Tyson Fury.
Of course.
What gave you the confidence? You had never been in a boxing match before.
You know, life is not always about theory.
Okay.
If life was about theory, I would have never been here.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't meant to be here, and yet I am. So you get to the point that you realize, like, it's not about like the experience and everything. Like, you understand that something going on, right? Like, if I walk to the bar and see a guy that is drunk and coming after me, that this guy never been in the gym. I step back first to watch what his move. I don't sit there and say, oh, I'm a professional fighter. No, I step back, because if that guy to land, you might find yourself have taken a nap.
So,
yo, this is a deep point. He said life isn't always about theory. So in theory, you may not have had the experience. In theory, you may not have had the the skill set to start out with, or to be recognized to have that skill set. In theory, on paper, you may not have been the person to win, but that doesn't mean that you can't, because theories are beaten all the time and theories are proven wrong all the time. Those are called upsets. And this is precisely what Francis did. He upset. This was an upset. He was not expected to win against Tyson Fury, and although he technically didn't get the decision, he won the fight like this. And so when people are looking at you and they're thinking about, well, in theory, you have no business succeeding. In theory, you shouldn't be where you are. In theory, well, who are you? Like you've never had anybody in your family ever make 6 figures or 7 figures before. In theory, you don't have the education to get to 6 or 7 figures. In theory, you don't have the background or the experience. In theory, none of that matters when it comes down to the actual game day. The theories be damned. You can make a decision in that moment and say, hey, you know what? In spite of the theories, I'm going to go and shock the world. I'm going to shock the world. I'm going to do something that's incredible. I want you to think about how you are going to shock the world doing what you're doing. I'm talking about defying the expectations of everybody that's around you, accomplishing more than they're like, wow, holy smokes, whoa, wow, oh, good God, wow, you? Holy what? Damn, okay. You know what I'm saying? You get to give people that moment. You know what I mean? But most important, you get to give it to yourself, because there's nothing more satisfying. Oh my God, there's nothing more satisfying. All right? So let's continue.
At the end of the day, regardless of like boxing, technique and everything, is 2 men fighting.
Right.
And I believe that I'm a man enough to stand in front of other men,
right,
even though I have a little bit of less experience and a disadvantage, but I know that I'm a man and I can handle.
Woo! At the end of the day, from his perspective, it's just 2 guys fighting. So on any given day, anybody can win and anybody can lose. The same is true for you. On any given day, somebody can sell that product. On any given day, somebody can get in front and start to build that dream. And on a given day, anybody can succeed in creating what they want to create. On any given day, you have the ability to do it. You have the ability. And the number one thing you always have to remember is people are usually just interested in how you can help them with what you have to offer. And as long as you can do that on any given day, and you can string a couple of days together, which turn into weeks and then months and years, before you know it, boom, you've hit your goal. You got your prize.
You had Mike Tyson, who Tyson Fury is actually named after, in your corner, teaching you the ins, the outs, the intricacies of the. So when you go into he's a big man. He's a massive man. I think he's 6'9". You're 6'5". You were the more muscular fighter. And you said, I just wanted to make sure I didn't get tired. So I didn't want to put too much into the punches and tire myself out.
Yeah.
But you counter him and catch him with I think a left to the temple.
Yeah.
Did you see that opening? Could you tell, like, I think I can get him. This is the moment?
No, basically that was even a counter. That wasn't something that I prepared. But I saw that when he walked at me in the third round, I think it was for him a moment to finish the fight.
Right.
Kind of like, okay, we are done. Let's go home now.
Right.
Because when the fight started, he was like, let's go to school. And then we get to the third round, he's acting like he's just gonna walk me down. Then I'm like, I'm not backing up. So I put my hand up and wait for him. And in order to push him, I have to counter, and then he get caught at that moment.
Right. So he's like, so what's going through your mind when you catch?
This is really so important. As he's talking about the fact that his opponent underestimated him, says, okay, now I'm going to take you out. You know what I mean? And he's like, okay. Now he's getting ready to counter. He said, okay, because he can see that this guy's coming at him. He's ready to take him out. And he says, no, not today, not today, not today. And, and he was ready to take that hit. And I just want to say to you, no matter what you're dealing with in life, you have taken every hit that life has given you so far, and you're still standing. You have taken every hit that life has thrown at you, and you're still here, which means that you're strong enough, you're tough enough, and you can do this. Think about everything you've been through, all the challenges, setbacks, problems, things that came. other people betrayed your trust. People didn't pay you when they said they were going to pay you. You didn't. People said they were going to deliver stuff. They didn't deliver. All that kind of stuff. And you're still here. Woo! The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. You feel me? Oh my God. Look, man. You got to give yourself some credit. You're still here. And if you're still here and you're still in the fight, that means you still have a chance to win. And if you have a chance to win, that means you don't quit. You keep going until you freaking win. You feel me? Oh yeah. Woo! Okay.
You like, man, I just put
not really nothing. I really, because he wasn't a strong punch, so I know that he's gonna get up.
You didn't catch it with your best.
No. I mean, he was a punch that even hit his shoulder first before hit his temple.
But if you catch him flush, you believe the fight's over. If you don't glance his shoulder, you catch him flush with that left. You believe you put him down to stay?
Everybody will go down in that one. Basically, in the third round, you're still fresh. No, everyone will go down.
Right.
With a clean shot.
Right. So what was it like taking a punch from him? Because like you said, I mean, most of your look in the UFC, the guys, I mean, there's so many things that you got to watch for. Mm-hmm. In boxing, you're just looking for the hands. Now, you jab, the uppercut, the hook, the body shots. But in UFC, you got to watch a knee, an elbow, a foot. You got to watch all that. And so most of the guys aren't punchers like you are. Now, they can end the fight, now the heavyweight, because you got body as you go up in 215, 220, 230, 240. Guys can end the fight.
No, it's minimum 250.
Yeah, okay, 250.
Yeah.
So what was it like taking a shot from Tyson Fury? You felt...
He hits pretty good. I mean, first of all, like even in the MMA, like there's all those punches from everywhere, knee, kick, all those stuff. But punchers, they are not so strong as boxer, you know. Right. Those guys have it inside the shoulder.
They know how to throw.
Yeah, they have the speed. They know how to throw it. Everything. Hit pretty good. I mean, I hit some good shot. I'm like, fuck. You know. But
have you ever gotten hit that hard in a UFC fight?
I think so. Yeah, basically in the UFC, in MMA, it's 4 ounce gloves.
Yeah, that's a lot of knuckle though.
Yeah, but it was pretty good shot.
Right.
I mean, it's good when you feel the punch. That means you are still up.
But the fact that you took the punch and you kept coming forward and you didn't back down or you didn't retreat and give him confidence, like, okay, he felt that power. Now is my chance. Is because you kept coming forward.
I was there to fight and to win.
Right.
I mean, and he's the champion. I have to go after him.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to sit them. I wasn't going there to count, you know, because like my game plan wasn't to count him or to survive.
Right.
My game plan was to fight and to win.
Right.
You know, to dictate my own rule. That was the game plan.
Okay.
Like I'm coming after you to win.
Right.
Yeah. So in order to do that, I have to work.
When you know that you are approaching whatever you want and your objective is to win, the hits are going to come at you. You anticipate them. You know that they're coming. You know that you're going to have challenges. You know that you're going to have issues. The only people without issues are 6 feet underground. And the only difference between the people who make it and those that don't is that persistence. Francis has taken quantum leaps inside of 6-7 years, guys, to go from an unknown person in poverty in Cameroon to being a multi-millionaire getting big purses. And at the time of this recording, he just now signed the second deal now to fight Anthony Joshua, which is coming up, you know, in a few months. And so this is like, he even got ranked by the Boxing Commission in the top 10, you know what I mean, like this, fighters in the world after his first fight. Yeah, like, I just want you to get he has not been boxing professionally. His first fight, you know. But one of the things that Francis does is prepare. He works hard, and he's also realistic about things. You know what I mean? When he's going through things, he's mentally prepared for the challenges, but he's also there to win, and he's going there to win. No matter what people think, because people thought this fight was a joke. They thought it was a farce. They thought this was a complete a gimmick fight, which is part of the reason that Francis named his company Gimmick Promotions, because to play on it. Yeah, you think I'm a gimmick? I'm not a gimmick. I'm the real thing, and he's proving that day in and day out. I can't wait to see his next fight. But the bottom line is that no matter what happens in his next fights, he's already the winner. He's already the winner, and so are you. If you are if you're each day pursuing with vigor your goal, your agenda, the thing that you want to create, the thing that you want to be, do, and have in your life, you deserve to have God's best as long as you're willing to pay the price. Preparation, 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 and perseverance. And those two things combined, doesn't matter what the naysayers have to say. Everybody was criticizing him, and if you go and you Google everything that people had to say about Francis, if you go on YouTube and pull up everything they had to say after he left the UFC and he left Goliath, and he was now all of a sudden David in the wilderness with no other chance to slay any of the dragons, and now here he is, making way more. He's making more off the one fight that he's already done with Tyson Fury. He's made more money there than he would have made it his entire career in the UFC. The one. Now he's about to get a second fight and doubling up on the same money. Oh my God. Oh my God. And is this all about the money and the wealth? No. It's about the person you had to be in order to create the wealth. It's about what you had to become in order to do it, what you had to go through and the sacrifices in order to create the reality you wanted to create. That's what it's about. The money is just a byproduct of the work, preparation, and the sacrifice. That's all the money. The money is just a measure of your level of productivity and what you created in the world. And that's what he's done. He's completely freed himself, his family, and he's completely changed his stars. Coming from a place where people are like, you want to be a fighter? What is that? Like this, to a person who now, to being ridiculed when he got to the UFC, ridiculed when he's going into boxing. He's not a boxer. All these UFC guys want to cross over, like Conor McGregor. These guys all want to cross over. They should stay in their lane. And then he comes into their lane, and on his first freaking fight, his first one, beats the millennial heavyweight. Woo! You can have quantum leaps. Let me know in the comments what leaps you're looking for. Please, if you're getting value from this stuff, like, share, send it with other people. Rewatch this if you need some more motivation and some more juice. Take a look, watch when you get a moment, watch the whole thing. I am going to do another piece on this, so I'm going to have a part 2 to this. But go watch this on your own time, and it's worth the 2 hours to sit down and listen, because there's so much in this thing. So I really hope that you got massive value today, and I'm excited about your growth and what you're going to do in your quantum leap. Have a truly powerful day, and let's continue to grow together.
We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.